I've never actually played Oblivion. The only thing I'd seen of Oblivion prior to making this video were the memes.
What is it, citizen?
Can't have enough snow.
Watch your step.
That all changed when Bethesda shadow dropped their release of the 2006 remaster, and I could put off playing it no longer. Was this actually a legendary game in its own right, or just the beta test before Skyrim launched a few years later? Let's find out together. Welcome to the Oblivion experience.
Along the secret way, we wander every day. Tear on the Tennessee. You want a piece of me now? I am the Sarkay, I am the whiskey R. I am everything, and here we go. Right along the side turn, here we go. Right along the side turn, here we go. Right along the side of
Upon starting a new game, I was unexpectedly jump-scared by the Sir Patrick Stewart.
I've never been the ruler of my own dreams.
You motherfuckers are gonna kill all
I've
my
seen the
lilies!
gates of Oblivion.
You start off as a prisoner because Bethesda seems to only know one way to start these bloody games anymore.
Hey, you.
I make my character and get hit by a few microaggressions.
Hey, lizard. No, you'll never get to swim again, Argonian.
Wow, okay, rude. As Grandad comes in to ramble about my face or something.
I've seen you. You are the one from my dreams. Then the stars were right. This is the day.
I follow him out of confusion more than anything else, and get to grips with the movement and the combat of the game.
Now will save us from the coming darkness.
Oh, fashion. Oh. Oh, I'm just gonna use this.
I need your help. Please come with us.
I then choose my Doom and my class. The ever-popular Stealth Archer will be abandoned here, as avoiding conflict was for cowards, and the weapon of the enemy. I would not be using it.
Wait here with the Emperor. Guard him with your life.
Oh, there goes Picard. Your eyeshadow is gorgeous. I'm given a pretty necklace and told to find a man named Jeffrey as we finally emerge blinking into the great wide expanses of Cyrodiil. Now, I know that I have a priest to find and an amulet to drop off, but frankly, I'm right next to the capital city and it would be rude of me to not stop in for a quick detour. The shopkeepers all have these individual holes in the walls, which reflect the Empire and their love for order. It's a great bit of cultural storytelling via level design, despite it looking rubbish and boring. I spent some time shopping for new outfits, but nothing really seemed to suit me. I don't know, it's all a bit too tavern wenchy for the Goddess of Dragons, isn't it? So what do we do when we start a new Scrolls game? That's correct, we find Belethor. Turns out all the merchants in town are mad at this one little wood elf for undercutting their business. Oh, is this little Tingle looking guy?
Stealth is a vital part of Metal Gear Online for all players.
Shh, not so loud. How many times have I told you that?
So, you guys come here often? After a very silent pursuit, we discover the seller has been cracking open coffins to make a quick coin.
I had a feeling you'd catch on sooner or later.
Grave robbing is only cool when I do it. And yoink, and yoink. I told Thorinir where his stock was coming from, and the poor little guy was absolutely mortified.
I'm mortified.
Don't worry, I forgive you, new Belethor. During my city walks, rumours of a guard captain with a less than noble work ethic reached my ears, and since I am a fair and just person, I decided to completely and utterly ruin his life. To convince these citizens to testify in court, we gaslight them at max speed until they have no choice but to be friends with us.
You've convinced me.
I actually really enjoy these speech and lockpicking mini-games, despite missing the Skyrim Twisty Lock challenge, mostly because it was really easy. With all the mini-games complete, all that was left was to wait for this guy to file the report and bring the captain to justice.
I have 2 witnesses willing to testify against Auden's Oblivion.
Are you gonna go?
In some terrible trouble.
He just stood there on the corner for literal days.
How goes it, friend? Keeping the killers and cut purses at bay?
Getting hungry.
It wasn't until a week later I saw him leading the balding weasel off to jail.
I've just been arrested for corruption, so I'm not in the mood to talk. If you're looking for books,
I'm sure we won't see him ever again. I enjoyed speaking to as many people in the city as I could, because their faces are an absolute marvel. The team behind the remaster did a massive graphics overhaul, but they still kept in the cross-eyed elves and the raisin people. Good. I liked watching them talk to each other.
The land of the Argonians is a strange place indeed.
Sometimes in big weird murmurations.
Have you ever browsed the guilds of Three Brothers Lawless?
Some people tried to recruit me into a thieves guild, but that's a tool for cowards and sneaks, and I will not be touching that.
Relax.
I finished up my scenic tour of the city, tried to break into the arcane university, and gave a passing glance at the arena, which filled me with a palpable sense of dread.
Azura!
But now that I had a decent grasp of the game's world and quest system, it's time to get out there and explore Cyrodiil. And, like, save it too, probably. The combat in Oblivion is very much what you'd expect from an Elder Scrolls game. A handful of drunk people swatting at each other until one falls over dead. I decided a good strategy was to hit up some nearby ruins and get experience with my sword and my sorceries. I wasn't fully sure of what build I wanted yet, so I just tried a bit of everything. I tried to balance out my repeated missing of spells with my impotent sword slapping, and trying on armor that would break after taking about 4 hits. Man. It also turns out wearing armor makes your spells less effective, both in terms of damage and strength of enemies it can target. A fact that I would learn much, much later in the game. Oh, bollocks. In 2006 Oblivion, they'd not invented the left arm yet, so dual wielding was replaced by having you able to use swords and spells at the same time, which is pretty neat. Early on, I'd seen some spells in the shops that sounded completely useless. A 25% damage increase for the cost of over half my limited mana pool was a fully pointless spell in my book, so I totally ignored it. After all, this game came before Skyrim, and that magic system is fairly streamlined. Surely they just trimmed the pointless fat between this game and the next one, right? If you've not played Oblivion before, then this, dear viewer, is called foreshadowing. Regardless of how terribly I was optimizing my character, I was having a lot of fun. I fought some necromancers and put their clothes on. The guild did not like that.
Are you out of your mind?
And I helped a village full of invisible people become seen again. Oh, buddy, I wish you'd stayed see-through. My reward for this was a permanent free place to safely sleep, which is the only way to level up in this game. Look, I'm broke, I'm not spending 40 septims on a hotel. What did distract me was the nearby town of Korol, where I saw a face I thought I'd seen in my dreams. The nearby castle features a fun whodunit mission involving a stolen painting, but it bugged out halfway through and forced me to reset the whole investigation because I picked up a clue out of sequence order. Thanks, Oblivion. This is also where I first encountered the Mages Guild, who are all very welcoming and friendly. In fact, a lot of the NPCs are very welcoming. It's a refreshing change of pace after meeting a lot of mean bastards in all the other RPGs I play.
Go f yourself.
Though there are exceptions to this.
you haven't seen my sons, have you? They went off into the forest to fight those monsters, and I'm worried about them.
What a shame.
No doubt.
Leave me alone.
I did a fetch quest for the local guildmaster, summoned a weird bug, and earned one of the 7 recommendations I'd need if I wanted to see what was behind those university gates. I was then visited by the balding ghost of Christmas past, come to enact revenge against me for outing him as a wrong'un, so I put his career on ice. Permanently. Also unable to get the face of that woman out of my head, I stopped into her house to ask her name.
I'm Rena Bruyant. I love dogs. Doesn't everyone? Bye.
Okay, now I should get on track to Wayland Priory. I stopped in a small farmland and stole their crops, quickly becoming over-encumbered, and the notifications for it stayed popping up on my screen all the way through walking to the Priory, talking to Jeff,
Who are you?
and leaving. Big man Jeff here is the retired guildmaster of the Blades, and though I haven't forgiven them for trying to make me kill Parthenax, he seemed like a cool guy, so I gave him the amulet to keep safe. It turns out Tamriel needs to have a true-blooded emperor who can wear the amulet, or else the big bad thing would happen. So he sends me, a random former criminal offender, instead of going himself to find the last remaining descendant of Tiber Septim.
His name is Martin. He serves Akatosh in the chapel in the city.
Wait, his name's Martin? A few miles west, the big bad thing started happening, as gateways to the realm of Oblivion were opening up and allowing the Daedra to enter Tamriel. And wouldn't you know, poor timing, one had opened up outside of Kvatch, Martin's home city. If we want to find Martin Septim and prevent calamity, we have to survive the jaws of Oblivion.
Oh, way down south in the land of traitors, rattlesnakes and alligators. Right away, come away, right away, come away.
Okay, for real, no one told me Flame Atronachs looked like this? Come on, man. You're almost tempting me to drink all these fire resistance potions and make this happen.
We'll all go down to Dixie, away, away.
Dude, come on.
Each Dixie boy must understand that he must find his Uncle Sam away, away. We'll all go down to Dixie, away, away. We'll all go down to Dixie. Way down south in the land of traders, rattlesnakes and alligators. Right away, from away, right away. We'll all go down to Dixie. Away, away. Each Dixie boy must understand that he must find his Uncle Sam. Away, away, away. We'll all go down to Dixie. Away, away. We'll all go down to Dixie.
Myself and the town guards were halfway through liberating the city from stray Oblivion creatures when we finally bumped into Martin.
I heard about how you helped the guard drive the Daedra back.
Oh my god, Sean Bean, I'm such a fan! It's honestly crazy how there's about 7 voices in Oblivion, and 2 of them are Patrick Stewart and Sean Bean. Now all we have to do is get back to the Priory, put the amulet on his neck, bish bash bosh, game over, world saved. No, obviously things can't be that easy. The Mythic Dawn have now sacked the Priory and taken the amulet right out from under the Blade's nose.
They've taken it! The Amulet of Kings is gone! The enemy has defeated us at every turn!
That lot of fucking good you were, Jeff. Right, so now we need to get Martin to safety until we can successfully get the amulet back again. I swear to god, if Martin gets kidnapped, I'm gonna lose my shit. So we ride all the way across Cyrodiil and drop Martin off at daycare with his bald minders until we can find a plan to locate the Mythic Dawn and therefore the amulet. They could be literally anywhere. So all we can do is wait. But, you know, since I've got some time on my hands, ow.
There's no need to get violent. Stop right there, criminal scum! Nobody breaks the law on my watch.
While I was out walking in the wilderness, I spotted a large tower on a mountaintop. Hello. I Skyrim horsed my way up and found it to be an old, abandoned mage's tower, complete with an Atronach crafting station. I can make my own. At this point, I was starting to fall behind in terms of combat strength. I was barely getting past the enemies I was pitted against, and needing to chug potions just to get by. So I had to get stronger, but I also needed enough money to refurbish my new house. Where can I train in combat and earn lots of money?
Good people of the Imperial City, welcome to the arena.
I have registered to become a pit dog in the Imperial City arena. I'm going to prove to the good people of Cyrodiil that I have what it takes to find Martin's necklace.
Look at you! My granny could beat you and she's dead!
So, I put on my finest battle raiment, pulled out my shiniest weapon, and cued the music.
Stop! You violated the law. It's been too long since I've seen a good brawl. I'm just warming up, you pathetic worm! Remember the Emperor! You dare attack me? I'm warning you! Show me what you've got. That the best you can do? Can't you settle this peacefully? You elves are all the same. All flesh, no fury. Guards! Guards! Someone's being attacked! Hey! You're some kind of maniac! This is the part where you bleed to death! It's over, lawbreaker. You're under arrest! You'll make a fine pair of boots! By the God, there's a psychopath on the loose! I fought mud crabs more fearsome than you. You dare oppose the might of...
Unfortunately, here I ran into a bit of a roadblock. 3 feral Argonian prisoners is a bit too much for a scrawny lizard with a stick, so I'd need to come back a bit later. Also, this pale orc guy kept asking me to go find his dad or something, which I'm sure I'll get round to. I was at a crossroads. With both magic and swords feeling a bit weak right now, I'd need to commit to one. And no, I wasn't choosing Stealth Archer, I made a promise. So I decided my best course of action was to see what would happen at the Arcane University. If they held some secret to mastering magic, then perhaps I could see myself as a full-time mage. So reluctantly, I ditched the armor, and I committed to becoming a wizard. I would have to visit every mage's guild in every town in Cyrodiil, so it was time for a little world tour. The different towns in Oblivion all have their little bits of unique charm to them. Bruma is so close to Skyrim that it shares a resemblance to Windhelm. Bravil is a ramshackle pirate-esque town. Cheydinhall is posh, Leyawiin is shit, etc, etc. The devs clearly put a lot of effort into these towns, and the remaster makes them all look so interesting and incredible. I set about doing odd jobs to earn my university recommendation, including meeting the delightful pranksters of the Bruma Mages Guild.
I hear you've been looking for me.
A lovely bunch. I hope nothing bad happens to them. Some of the wizards tried to kill me, the silliest attempt of which was to try to drown an Argonian in a well, which... You'd think a powerful mage would be smarter than that. I conjured, blasted, and shopped my way through the quests until I had all the recommendations I needed to enter the Arcane University. The university admissions didn't really do much for me at first. I'd been leveling up my spellcraft, but it all still felt a bit weak. I did meet a guy with some very nice clothes, though. Ooh. You got a second pair of those? He made me a staff, which did the funny fall over haha effect, but it didn't feel like it was enough. I was about to give up until I discovered this. The Spell Crafting Altar. Turns out Skyrim was a huge downgrade for magic, as I could literally create my own spells. This is what the useless spells are for, combining all the different spells into one big cast. So I hunkered down and spent literal hours spellcrafting. These were my 4 Infinity Stones, giving me plenty of options to deal with any combat scenario. I had all this power, and my silly haha fall down stick, and on returning to the arena, it was easy. I even made time to find out about that pale orc's dad. Turns out he's a vampire or something, and now the orc's all sad about it.
My whole life has been nothing but a lie.
Oh, don't worry, buddy. I'll fix that. And yoink. I was now the grand champion of the arena, and I had enough gold to be able to fix up Frostcrag's spire completely. Nothing was going to stop me now that I was...
Wow, you're the grand champion. I saw your fight against the Great Prince. You're the best.
Not you.
Can
I know you. Whilst I had plans of killing the annoying whelp, my compassion got the better of me. So instead, I had him wait behind the arena gate and locked him in there. Now he can watch as many arena fights as he wants, while he starves to death. Much more merciful. With the arena questline all tied away and the Mages Guild questline done, I only had 2 real commitments to undertake. The first would be to advance through the ranks of the Arcane University, but the slightly more pressing issue was the coolest bald man in history, Geoffrey, had spotted some spies trying to peep at Martin's crown jewels, and turns out they were members of the Bruma City Guard, planning an incursion. So I reported to this incredibly handsome gentleman. What? After searching the spy's house, I found plans that led me into the sewers of the Imperial City to meet with the Mythic Dawn. I met up with the guy with the fabulous eyeshadow from earlier, and together we decided to spring a trap for the cultists. Now that I had the upper hand, I was ready to spring my trap, and so I stood up and I punched him right in his face. Boris was not very good at staying alive, but luckily we found the right timeline where he survived, at which point we decided to, for fuck's sake, Boris. At which point we made it out of the sewers. We made it out of the sewers. Oh god, we did make out of the sewers, didn't we? Eventually, I emerged up some lady's toilet, lockpicked my way out of her house, and emerged into the sunlight. That was genuinely horrific. I never want to see a sewer again. Deciphering the Mythic Dawn's middle school textbooks, the super secret code written in giant obvious letters said, "Green Emperor Way, where tower touches midday sun." Now, I've got no idea who the Green Emperor is, but I know where there's a big tower and it's almost midday. So yes, I sprinted around the white gold tower to try and find some sign of the Mythic Dawn, and yep, sure enough, a big glowing map would do the trick. I tracked the Mythic Dawn to their hideout in the wilderness and infiltrated them using my patented lizardly charm. Comes. This was where I first laid eyes upon Mankar Cameron, the leader of the Doomsday cult with his audience of enraptured worshippers. You see, they plan to open a... I know you're... Where do I know you from? Oh, that's gonna bother me. I tried to kill him, but he's busy right now. So instead I watched him leave through his portal to... Is he going to fucking Rivendell? Before the cultists gave me a choice. I could sacrifice this poor Argonian twink and walk out of here scot-free. The other option was to steal the book right in front of them, fight my way out against the entire cult at the very heart of their base, and protect this helpless naked stranger. The choice was easy. Ah, fuck it.
Cannot escape the master's plan. Target acquired.
Remember, avoidance is cowardice, and I'm not avoiding a fight. Giving the book back to Martin, we were given our shopping list. We would need a powerful Daedric artifact, a powerful divine artifact, a greater Welkin stone, and a greater sigil stone. Oh wait, no, he seems to already have those last two. Yeah, they were just here for the entire quest line, and I didn't realise what they were until I looked back on these recordings. Anyway, the Daedric artifact first. My first stop was the Shrine of Azura to earn her favour, as her followers clearly didn't possess any. I killed some undead, didn't get lost in a cave, and was given her star. Though the star might be useful for a practicing mage, so I decided to find some other trinkets to sacrifice instead. The first was to try and earn a star from this very seductive statue.
When you awaken, wet.
I went into a dungeon and turns out I accidentally entered it backwards, because the back door just, isn't locked. So I went through the entire thing in reverse and didn't realise. You're meant to be walking through an eerie nightmare realm, but I just kind of stumbled through it murdering Daedra and somehow ended up stranded in Oblivion with no way back but to reload my save, so oops. Though the trip wasn't wasted, as I did find something down here that I wasn't looking for. Oh. Oh yes. The very sexy statue voice gave me a cool star for doing whatever the hell that was, which creates a clone of whoever you target to fight their original self, which is hilarious. The last item was this ring, which gives you the power of stealth, invisibility, and... With plenty of Daedric artifacts collected, I then had to go and collect Tibur Septim's divine armor. It was cool, I got to meet some ghosts. No, it's fine, take your fucking time. I like how instead of ascending to the heavens or fading away, they just walk out the door. It's like they're gonna walk all the way back to... Now, despite us knowing Martin has the Welkind and Sigil stones, he needs some time to think about it, which means we've got a chance to do some more upgrading of our powers before the plan fully goes off the rails. So, before facing the worst Oblivion has to offer, it's time to do something meaningful, something serious, something... Cyrodiil has gone completely balmy. Oblivion portals are popping up everywhere, both through solid rock, underground, and far too close to each other. Necromancers are running wild, and it seems like I'm the only one with fists hard enough to put them down. And on top of that, there's this big head that's opened up, and it started talking to...
Unworthy!
Oh, it's Sheogorath. I've not heard you in ages. Oh, I dipped my head inside, had a job interview that turned into an acid trip, and met a creepy gentleman who was after my bones.
You can only really see the bones when you take them out.
This was all very cool, but it can wait for another time.
Subscribe.
So, while I couldn't sort out the whole Oblivion portal thing right now, the least I could do was deal with the Necromancers. A man known as the King of Worms was coming to destroy the Mages Guild, and already made a start by burning down the branch in Bruma, killing everyone inside but sweet, invisible Jaskar. Is this part of the game? What am I looking at? Now let's get one thing clear. Nobody fucks with the delightfully whimsical folks of the Bruma Mages Guild and gets away with it, so I needed to prepare. I'm not normally one to break games, but I do know how to do it. For example, did you know you can stack alchemy effects from multiple potions? So if you were to, say, craft 500 odd speed potions and down about 10 of them at once, you can increase your speed or any other stat to insane levels. This is plus 600 to speed. Imagine what I could do with strength. Did you also know that with the right combo of spells, you can make a 150 damage nuke attack for the cost of a single fireball spell? Did you know you can forge Atronachs at the tower and they become eternal companions to up the numbers game? And did you know that with the right enchantments, you can buff your athletics into the hundreds and leap tall buildings in a single bound? Oh, that's it? Okay, they're not all winners. I spoke to the Archmage about matters, which his colleague was very excited to overhear.
Before the Arcane University was founded in the Second Era.
And began training my spells by repeatedly casting them out in the courtyard. I then begun hunting down the colleagues of the King of Worms and forced everyone in sight to cut them down with a newly buffed Mass Frenzy spell. Oh, well, there he goes. Oh, buddy. There's a joke about getting wood here and I can't think of it. They say when on a quest for revenge, always dig 2 graves. But they're stupid because I'm going to kill way more than 2 people. I left the last of these vermin to kill myself and took great pleasure dealing the final personal blow. I wonder if that's important. I wanted more violence. The guards tried to stop me, tried to talk some sense into me, but I wasn't backing down, and they were so afraid of me they could do nothing while I slowly beat them to death. I pushed a man hundreds of meters into a pit just to feel something. I was unstoppable. I cut my way through more necromancers, barely understanding why I was doing it anymore, until I was approached by a shadowy figure.
You sleep rather soundly for a murderer, capable of taking life without mercy or remorse.
Well, you seem like someone I can trust. This was good. The perfect people to help me hone my skills and become an efficient killing machine. The Dark Brotherhood. My first target was a man sleeping at a nearby inn. I was feeling apprehensive about killing a random stranger, until he unpromptedly outed himself as an abuser, so I had no problem one-tapping him with my portable nuke. I was invited to visit the Brotherhood, the murderous assassins of pure evil, and I was ready. Or so I thought I was. What I found down there shook me to my very core.
Warmest welcomes to you.
Please, accept this gift from your new family.
Good to finally meet you.
You have come home at last. I'd hug you, but Ochiva told me not to.
If you need anything, you need only ask. Good luck, sister.
They were monsters. Horribly sick and twisted psychopaths. I knew I could never abide such horrible people, and so I turned my back and walked away, never again vowing to kill in anger. The King of Worms was about to rear his ugly head, hearing tell of another bloodlusted murderer on the loose he could control. I found out his location from this vampire who stood out in the sun. Ooh, you're gonna get sunburn. And I hunted down his confidants, forced them to kill each other, and silenced all who remained.
Be seeing you.
You see, the King of Worms will only reveal himself if there's a powerful person with an unstable mind he could control. And so I had to keep up this ruse of insanity. To convince his spies I was truly gone mad, the Archmage helped to frame me for murder by killing himself, which seemed like a slight overreaction, and I headed for the Wormmancer's hideout. Little did he know I was as clear-headed as I had ever been. See, I came with a plan to avenge the Guildmaster, the civilians, and the members of the Bruma Guild. And so I punched my way through his devout followers and stood before the King of Worms. He lectured me about power and control, thinking he had me under his spell, but I just stared him down. I was ready. Thanks to an assortment of potions and scrolls, I had planned the ultimate humiliation.
They say all men are created equal. You look at me and you can see that it's not true.
I took away his magic, his bodily autonomy, and I beat him to death, punching him so hard in the butthole that he fucking died. Take notes. That is how you kill the Lord of Necromancers. Fucking got him. The dawn of the ending was drawing close, and Bruma was under attack. They'd opened a gate outside the city walls, and were bringing an army, but I was bringing Captain Bird.
That is bullshit blazing. To my heart is blazing. If no one kill me, I don't need a new one. You will know the smell of the game.
Man, Captain Bird, when this is all over, maybe we can settle down somewhere. We can adopt some cats and make cheese or something. You know, live a simple life. When this war is over, I'll find you. After going through all that, finding the Greater Welkin Stone was no problem. And yoink! Returning to the Blades HQ, Geoffrey was there to lend me a kind word as always, and Martin was slowly coming into his own as a soon-to-be Emperor. Things were finally looking up. Or so I thought. I'd been training for this day. I'd been closing multiple Oblivion gates and fighting all sorts of horrific Daedric creatures. Oh no. In order to obtain the Great Sigil Stone, the Countess of Bruma gave Martin, Jeff, Bird and I permission to allow the Daedra to open a great gate outside the walls. So me and the boys marched into the streets of Bruma to rapturous applause and made it to the place where we would hold our ground. Martin was really coming into his own, giving a speech and inspiring the troops, while I stood alongside Bird, ready to fight through hell together. And so the gates were flung wide, and the Daedra poured out upon us. We fought tooth and nail to survive, until the great gate ripped a hole in the fabric of reality. I didn't even look back. It was all up to me. I had to close the gate before they overran the city. I was presented with the great Daedric siege engine, and I hopped across rocks and clambered over ledges. I don't think this is the way I'm supposed to go. Sprinting past the siege engine and into the tower, I fought the most powerful creatures Oblivion had to throw at me, obliterating them with powerful magic. I blasted my way to the top, grabbed the stone and sealed the gate, getting the final piece of the puzzle we needed to stop the Mythic Dawn. As I emerged from the gate, Martin was there to congratulate me, and even with his strangely rendered face and 2006 voice acting, I could hear the pain in his voice. Something had gone terribly wrong. Oh no, not Bird. Oh, I liked him. Though the siege engine was destroyed, and we had all the tools we needed to stop Mankar Cameron, the price we paid was far too great. Both Captain Bird and Geoffrey, Master of the Blades, were dead. We could now end the Oblivion crisis, but the people I was doing it for, they wouldn't get to see that world. I suppose I have to just carry on. I had no time to rest. This was the moment. With the 4 relics collected, Martin opened a portal to Cuba, where Mankar Cameron was hiding out in his tax haven. If I could find him and retrieve that amulet, Martin could relight the dragon fires, and we could end this incursion for good. The scenery on Mankar Cameron's paradise was beautiful, but was all a flawed facade, a lie created to deceive his followers so he could force the worship of Mehrunes Dagon upon them. And I was there to stop him. Also, at some point in Oblivion, I got stretched like a piece of gum, and I never snapped back, so everyone's tiny now. I stared down in disgust at all of Cameron's loyalists, because I could. Any Daedra that dared stand in my way were quickly put down. I passed under a mountain and met a man named Eldermill, who volunteered his help, which I passively allowed, still numb after losing Bird and Jeff. He wanted me to lie and use subterfuge to avoid a fight here, but he didn't know me like the others did. At some point, Eldermill fell into a lake of lava and died, but before I could fully comprehend his death, I went outside and— Motherfucker, you died! So together we climbed the hill and were greeted by Cameron's vile children. I don't even know who you are. The time for talking was over, and the time for murdering with spells was here. I entered Cameron's sanctum and oh look, they're alive again, okay. It was time to fight Mankar Cameron, the author behind all of this, and put this Oblivion crisis to rest.
I have waited a long time for you. Our worlds are crumbling. The Mythic Age reborn. You cannot stop your day.
Oh, it's General Zod. Yeah, no, I knew I'd remember eventually. Cameron's paradise had collapsed, and I had retrieved the Amulet of Kings. I gave it to my dear friend Martin, and we went to the capital city, ready to relight the dragon fire. However, the Daedra had gotten there first. The city was under mass invasion by creatures of Oblivion, and people were dying all around me. This was a genuinely hard fight, but I had to do it. For the Archmage, for Bird, for Jeffrey, and for all of Tamriel. We fought to clear the White Gold Tower and rush towards the Dragonfire. We could do it! As long as, I don't know, Mehrunes Dagon wasn't already here, we could easily get to—
We're too late! Mehrunes Dagon is here!
Ah, bollocks. This was the end. My might was not enough to survive the endless Dremora. My fists weren't effective. My magic couldn't even touch Mehrunes Dagon. In all possible outcomes, Martin would die before we had a chance to seal the gates. There was nothing I could do. Both magic and might had failed me. And so, I did what I had to do, what needed to be done. In order to make right all the wrongs that had come before, all the pain the Mythic Dawn had caused. To save my home from destruction, I finally did the one thing I had abstained from, the bravest thing I could do in that very moment. I looked Mehrunes Dagon in the eye, and I avoided the fight. Yeah, no. I used subterfuge and I walked right past him. For once, violence was not the answer, and cowardice was bravery. I had done it. I had saved Tamriel by sneaking. Like, I guess Martin also turned into a big dragon made of light and fought Mehrunes Dagon to a mutually assured tragic destruction while I sat there like a lemon, but I had done it! I was the champion of Cyrodiil. Afterwards, praise was showered upon me. People couldn't stop talking about it.
Everyone's talking about
the great victory over Mehrunes Dagon.
Everyone wants to know what really happened in the temple.
But I was alone. I'd lost everyone now. I suppose, after war, one must find a place to belong. Maybe this was destiny. I had to learn to avoid conflict, how to use subterfuge and stealth. And so, who better to learn from than the Khajiit? It's what Bird would have wanted for me, after all.
We have a fine collection of cheeses here, including the rare Olroy cheese. I keep it locked away tight.
Well, I suppose you have to learn sometime. Right, Bird? And that was the Oblivion experience. But was it all worth it? Yeah, absolutely, yeah, no. The open world might feel a bit empty, the voice acting might be a little bit dated, and the ending might be a bit anticlimactic, but that doesn't defeat the point of playing this game. It might be a bit janky here and there, and there, and there, and there, and it might lack some of the polish that its forebears have. But it makes up for it by being both absolutely hilarious and downright charming. Oblivion is a great time, even if you've never played it, and just like Skyrim, there's all sorts of stories you can tell for yourself in its world. Maybe I didn't end up becoming some epic knight, making this whole expensive outfit fucking pointless, but I did tell my own little story about saving the world my way. And besides, there's a theory that this remaster is just to test the audience on what they still enjoy about the series in preparation for Elder Scrolls 6. So, if that's true, I'll throw my pointless wailing recommendation into the ring. Bethesda, since I fucking know you're watching, bring back the custom spells, please. Also, keep the Atronachs and the Spriggans looking sexy, and give more dynamic quests to the game, like the Mythic Dawn hideout raid. Oh yeah, and bring back more stupid dialogue. The world needs idiots. And that's my piece. Thank you for stopping by. This video was a ton of effort to make, so I hope you enjoyed it at least. So yeah, remember to do the whole like, comment, subscribe, whatever things, and I'm gonna get out this armor. It's pretty fucking heavy, so I'll see you next time. Goodbye, farewell.